have results from the second poll in our second question in our poll. Let me turn to that. We asked, there is currently a cure for cancer, but the medical industry won't tell the public about it because they make too much money treating cancer patients. Those in our interactive audience today, the results of that poll say no one strongly agrees, 17% somewhat agree, 17% somewhat disagree, 66% strongly disagree, and 1% don't know. Now, in contrast, the responses to our survey, in the official survey, were 20% strongly agreed, 14% somewhat agreed, 17% somewhat agreed, disagreed, excuse me, 43% strongly disagreed, and 7% didn't know. Now, I don't need to tell you, but I'm going to state very strongly for the record that this is not true. There is no cure for cancer that is being concealed by researchers or medical professionals. But I do have to ask why in the statistically valid poll that Burwood conducted, that 34% of people thought that that was the case. How could that be?
I don't know. I look at cancer as the great equalizer. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how rich you are, how poor you are, how famous you are. Mm-hmm. If that were true, people in powerful positions would have been cured of their cancers, and we know that's not true. But you do kind of wonder, a lot of people hear personal experiences expressed, and they relate that, you know, to what might be happening to them. There's an actress out there who kind of states that she has the cure, and people are just keeping it from people, and people pick that up and they believe it, whether it's true or not. But I think it's the education that we have.
Well, with our project here, we will certainly state boldly and strongly as possible all these key elements that may be misunderstood or deliberately misinterpreted in the community. We do have the results from the third question in our poll. Let me move on to that one. That was, the risk of dying from cancer in the United States is increasing. Our interactive audience poll said that 17% thought it was true and 83% thought it was false. The responses from our official survey indicated 56% thought it was true that cancer risk was increasing, 27% thought it was false, and 18% don't know. Burwood? Again,
your audience is certainly better informed than the general public at large, which shouldn't surprise us.
All three of our partner institutions here, WellSpan Health, Lancaster General Health, Pinnacle Health, are heavily invested in cancer treatment. You all have recently built or expanded cancer treatment centers, institutes. Tell me why you made the decision to make those enormous investments.
If one evaluates the population of patients that our four-county area is involved in treating, one will notice that between the years 2005 and 2010, 34,000 new lives entered the bracket of ages at which cancer is the most common cause of mortality. Moreover, the remainder of the community is moving in that direction. Median age is shifting towards a graying of the population. Secondly, it's a commitment that we as healthcare systems have made to our population to be as current and as leading edge as we possibly can in delivering oncology care. And that's part of what I hope, and I'm sure my colleagues hope, we will accomplish in this series of events to demonstrate the depth of the bench, the depth of resource that is locally available to the patients in this community in the treatment of this disease. To that end, it is incumbent upon us to expend resource, to remain current, and to offer the best that there is to offer.
And Pinnacle, your Cancer Institute is the newest one to come online.
We opened for services last Monday. And our project, the building project, took over 2 years, but the thought behind it went much further than that. We did our own surveys in the community, whether they wanted to see this care given in one area, and we are a merged system, and we knew that our services were spread out at different campuses. It was a concentrated effort to relocate those in response to what the community wanted. They wanted things in one area. So what we did was reallocate all our resources for cancer and have it at one spot so that patients don't have to hop all around. We see over 1,900 new cancer cases, and we're only one healthcare facility within a 20-mile region. You know, there are a few others there. So when you look at that, we needed to be able to provide the community with what they needed.
We're hearing from the community right now, so let me go to a question. It comes from a Facebook post from a Radio Smart Talk listener. This person says, I have Crohn's disease, which increases my chances for colon cancer. Are there any other similar diseases that also increase cancer risk? That's a jump ball for the physicians here on the panel, I think.
All right.
Go ahead.
There are a number of medical conditions, including Crohn's and other autoimmune diseases, that do increase the risk of developing cancer. There are some medical conditions that are known to be associated with cancer through a genetic mechanism.
And is Crohn's disease the only major one that affects colon cancer? Or could other diseases also increase the incidence of colon cancer?
Any form of inflammatory bowel disease, whether it's ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, any type of chronic inflammatory process in the bowel does increase the chance of getting cancer. Another common problem is GI reflux, that burning in the stomach. That increases the chance of getting stomach cancer.
We have a question from our webinar. The question is, I am a 20-year prostate cancer survivor. However, the jury is out on the question of cells residing and the cancer returning. Everyone has cancer cells in their body. However, everyone doesn't have to deal with some type of cancer. Why do some cells stay dormant and others become active and form tumors? Why is that?
Well, it would be complex. It would have to do with the biology of the cancer. It would have to do with the rest of a person's health, and it would have to do with a person's immune system. It may even have to do with the way we take care of ourselves. We do have the ability to make our genes behave or misbehave, no matter what they are. That's our good cells and our cancer cells.
Well, I very much appreciate the opportunity to talk with all of you today, but you're not getting dismissed yet, because we have another thing that we'd like to share, because Facing Cancer Together is a multimedia project. We're going to come back and ask you some questions about this aspect of it. One of the media pillars is going to be information and interactivity that's available online. At facingcancertogether.witf.org, users will be able to find the on-demand repository for all of the Facing Cancer Together media content, from video and audio to print. Now, also available will be cancer basics, information on clinical trials, links to resources, plus blogs moderated by cancer survivors, specialists, and volunteers. And you can stay connected with the Facing Cancer Together community via Facebook and Twitter.